Okay, the wheels are just there. We go. I'd say the wheels are just spinning. It's just like loading and loading and loading. But we're live. What's up, you beautiful people? How you guys doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm having a fantastic day, but I do want to talk about some things. Uh, politically, politically speaking. Can you all hear me? Okay. Let me turn this up a little bit. There we go. A whole lot of stuff going on. I shared a video yesterday of Trump's take on MTG. And mixed response. And everybody was like, Cash, what do you think? If you're not sure about the clip that I'm talking about, I'm going to play it for you so you guys can hear it. Where's it at? Right here. Let's pause. Let me see. Is that MTG? No, that's the Epstein one. Okay, well, you know the clip if you haven't seen it. Trump said, when he was asked about Marjorie Taylor Greene, he corrected the reporter and said, Marjorie Trader Greene? I don't think she's relevant when she was saying that, he put her life in danger. And people got upset. They're like, oh, I wish Trump would shut up. Or the other side was, man, this chick is doing the most, so her life ain't in danger, and he can say what he wants and make it more relatable. Everybody want to know how I feel about it. I feel that everybody's, human. Trump's a human like the rest of us. He's not going to get it right every time. I'm not saying that he got it wrong, right? I understand his frustration if that is real. If it's real frustration. What do I mean by that? Well, I was sitting back meditating, man, thinking about all of this stuff and where we're at right now with MTG and Megyn Kelly and all that. And we're going to get into Megyn Kelly too. But I started thinking about it. I say, man, Trump got a history of this. Trump's got a history of making it look like he's at odds with somebody while in the background, they really ain't got no problem. And they're just doing what they're supposed to do. So you're like, what do you mean, Cash? Well, personally, I don't think they're really beefing. And it's because Marjorie Taylor Greene was such an avid supporter of Trump, and I believe still is, right? This is just my own, from outside looking in, looking at the plays. And everything made public like this, Marjorie Taylor Greene going on all these different news outlets, and I can't see her switching up her stance that much. And then people are like, look at the money she's bringing in. I feel you. It's questions. I don't know. But I could tell you this. When it comes to picking a side, I had to check myself because there's only one side that all of us should be picking. Everybody. There's only one side that we all should pick, whether you're a Democrat or Republican or whatever, black, white. You should only pick the truth. That's it. All the stuff that we see coming out on social media enrages us because we're so heavily involved in politics. And you got to think about something, y'all. It's called a feed for a reason. What are they feeding? When you're looking on your feed, what are they feeding? Your emotions. They're feeding your emotions, feeding your brain to react, to feel something, leading you somewhere. And if they're showing it to you, they want it to be seen. Think about this. They wouldn't even talk about the Epstein thing the way that they were, or the way that they are now, before, right? Trump wanted to pull the Epstein files out during his campaign. He said that he was going to release these files. He was going to release the Epstein stuff, right? And we're all waiting. And then Kash Patel comes out and says, look, I've given y'all everything that I got. I'm like, well, that's not enough. And then they release his stuff redacted. So everybody's like, whoa, hold on, wait a minute. Why is everything redacted? You can't see anything. We already know all of this stuff. And then there's the switch. And the news is reporting that Trump doesn't want the Epstein files to come out because he's in them. And they share some stuff online. And they say, well, look it. Trump is being named with Bubba and all this crazy stuff. Well, really, these are old messages that they doctored up. And then everybody's like, see, Trump doesn't, looking on my feed. Everybody's, Trump doesn't want the files to come out. What do you think about your president and all this, right? Elon Musk beef with Trump. Trump put out on X that Trump is in the Epstein files, which is why he doesn't want them out. And then what happened? Everybody thought that they was beefing. And then they back cool. And then lo and behold, everybody's against Trump, talking about Trump is working with these people, trying to cover up these people. And then Trump comes out today and says, hey, let's release the Epstein files. I want the Republicans to vote to release it. We got nothing to worry about. So is it more going on here? Everybody's scratching their heads, confused. Democrats are like, why would Trump want the Epstein files to come out if he's in them? And then the Republicans, and now they're just at a loss. They don't know what the heck to think, because some of them were hoping that Trump was in them because they're, you know, who they are. And then you got stuff like this happening. Now, I got to play this. I got to play this because this is wild to me. This is really wild to me. Share screen. Listen to this.
I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in
a guy.
a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like,
that would still make, I don't care about how you want to look at it. Okay. That is still what it is. Now, a person like me, myself, when I heard her say this, my reaction was, what did you just say, Megyn Kelly? What? Let's keep listening.
like he liked 15-year-old girls.
15-year-old, listen, you tell that to people in prison that have messed with a 15-year-old. Okay? I don't care how they looked. They ain't watching TV. They can't sit in the day room. They got to stand. They're not allowed to lift weights. They're on punishment. And then in dinner time, child time, they got their own table, and you know who's who. When they sitting at that table, you know who they are. I ain't trying to hear that, Megyn.
And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were.
Now, hold on. Didn't y'all see all those paintings that was in Epstein's house? Not the ones of Bill in the Monica Lewinsky dress with the red heels on and all of that. No. The kids. Paintings of children. Kids. Now, you trying to get us to believe that he wasn't actually what he was because he wasn't into like 8-year-olds? For real, that's what we're going with? I'm leading somewhere. Bear with me, y'all.
But would look legal to a passerby. And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it kiddie porn. Now they call it child sexual abuse material on his computer, that for the first time I thought, oh no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos.
So it wasn't until that made you think that? It wasn't the fact that he had 15-year-olds. You said it yourself. You knew that he was involved with like 15-year-olds. And you're basically cool with that because that's not an 8-year-old? Not cool, Megyn.
She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters
or anything else
anymore.
You don't really trust Pam Bondi on these, but you want people to trust you because you say you got a guy that you know that was inside that told you that he wasn't into what we know he was into, and it doesn't count as that because it's a different definition when they're teenagers, but still children, because you can't even buy cigarettes at 18 anymore. I mean, just saying.
Yeah, so I don't know what's true about him, but we have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10, I was under 14 when I first came within his purview. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. You know, it's just whatever.
Yeah, there is. There is a difference. But it's still what it is. Plain and simple. It's sick and it's wrong. So then, anyway, I thought about my reaction to this. And at first, I was upset. But then had to be like, okay, but she's not wrong in what she's saying. And she's not really excusing, you know, Epstein. She's just clarifying. But why? Why? What made you feel the need to have to clarify the definition? And then my wheels start turning. And I'm like, okay, maybe, and this is just me, my conspiracy brain kicks in, right? And I remember a lot of different stuff from when I was really, really, really into conspiracies, like all the way into conspiracies. And I just thought about it, and I'm like, what if all of this stuff that's happening right now, even with the Candace Owens, the Nick Fuenteses, and, you know, all of these types of people, what if this is to weed a whole bunch of people out? How many people heard Megyn Kelly and are sick in the head and were like, yeah, instead of hearing what she was actually saying, heard, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they're not like 5-year-olds, and are going to be a little more bold in their stance. I don't know. But I thought about the whole Epstein thing with everybody now calling for the files to be released. And how at one time it was only one side calling for the files to be released. At one time, that was what MAGA was real standing on business on, was no harming children. There's a secret, messed up ring of people in our country, within our politics and within the power structure of America, that do bad things to kids. That was our thought. And we was head on. Remember the fall cabal? Remember that? And I felt like I was crazy after, you know, going to prison and just being away from it all for a while. But here we are. And now we got Megyn Kelly trying to clarify what is and what isn't. And we got MAGA very divided, fractured. MAGA is fractured, or it appears that way. Or are people just weeding themselves out? And this isn't even just like with MAGA. This is, for me, going even deeper, because like I said before, when I asked you the question, I say, what is important to you? The only thing that is important to me is the truth. And I had to check myself, because sometimes we excuse wrong things on one side or the other, depending on what side we're on, or we just don't talk about it. We don't bring attention to it. We don't call it out. And that's not being truthful. My honest opinion, I think that there's something way bigger going on behind the scenes. Because through all of this stuff that's happening right now, right? They got, allegedly, from what I just heard today, do my little research that I had a little time to do, they got 20 FBI whistleblowers to come forward in the Obamagate scandal. Everybody said there's nothing to that. There's nothing to that. Well, no, they're saying that there is something to it, and that Mr. President, past President Barack Obama, was possibly involved in creating the Russia hoax. That he directed CIA and FBI to do things that they normally wouldn't do. That he told them, when they said that they didn't find anything, that there was nothing there, he said, scratch that, go back and find something. Allegedly. Now, if this is true and they have 20 FBI whistleblowers, we already see what's going on with Comey and all these other people. Maybe, because I told you, you guys know, one time I was deep into conspiracies and we were waiting for arrest. Maybe justice might just come around. Maybe. I don't know. But what I do know is that more Americans, more than ever before, are interested in the corruption that is taking place in our country. Not just Democrats, or not just Republicans, but also Democrats. Democrat voters, people, regular people, are now interested in wanting justice. See, it just started off with them wanting justice against Trump because they believe Orange Man bad, right? And Trump ate it all. 34 felonies, impeachment after impeachment, all types of different things being said about him, and he went with the punches, rolled right with them, and still came out on top as the president. And he still, in my opinion, and I know a lot of people ain't gonna like this opinion, but in my opinion, Trump is still fighting hard for the American people, regardless of what you want to feel, right? About, giving money to Israel or giving money to whoever. I still feel like he's doing a great job for the American people. And there was one thing that stuck out to me because somebody sent me a clip, right? And I watched this clip. And this clip is somebody alleging that Donald Trump converted to Judaism, right? And I watched the clip. He sent it to me on Instagram. I'm not going to play it because it's going to get me flagged. But it's Trump. And they're trying to build this narrative that Trump converted to Judaism in 2019 or in 2017, and that they just haven't gone public with it yet. And I thought about something. Now, I know you guys probably weren't as deep into conspiracies as me. All right, I was real deep in, like I was Q in, right? And I remember this one drop. Save Israel for last. Not Jewish people, not Israeli people. No, save Israel for last. And that one always got me like, what do they mean? Because at that time, I was still into my whole Candace Owens phase. I was still like on some, I had a lot of thoughts about Jewish people. And you had to step back and really understand. No, it's never about the people. It's not been about people, or the religion. It's been about government. It's been about government. And I told you this time and time again, as far as I'm concerned, Israel's government is one of the worst governments in the planet. Same with ours. Like, our government is corrupt, and we're seeing that every day. Our government is corrupt, or we have corruption within our government. We're seeing all types of stuff. Look at what happened in Mexico. Did you guys see that? In Mexico, they spray painted on their Capitol building or whatever building against the president in Spanish, Jewish B. I was raised around Mexicans. I know Mexican people. Ain't no Mexican person gonna spray paint nothing like that. They would have called her all kind of different names, but they would not have put Jewish, which led me to believe, my conspiracy brain, PSYOP. PSYOP. Because they need everybody to be focused on Israel. Jewish people. What's the big headline? The first Jewish president in Mexico. A female on top of that. And I'm telling y'all, I know it seems like I'm being maybe vague, a bit ambiguous, because I can't really explain the way that I want to about how I feel towards all this, but I feel like we all right. I feel like we're all right. It looks crazy. The world looks crazy, but I feel like things are happening. We're seeing the corruption, though. We're seeing how much these politicians don't really care about us, about the people, our own government. And people are seeing it. Look what they snuck in this bill. They snuck in this thing about hemp that's going to crush hemp farmers that have businesses, that started up small businesses. It's going to crush them. They don't care. It went right through. I think that America is about to change within the next 2 years. I think the world's going to change here in the next 2 years. And then the biggest thing is that more than ever, I see people leaning in to God, myself included, leaning into God harder than we probably ever have. And not religion. People aren't leaning into religion. People are gradually moving away from religion and just reading a Bible and praying to God and getting closer to God. And that to me is the biggest tell sign. I see people that I grew up with that was gangbangers like me. People that was wild, now turning to God, literally turning to Christ. Not accepting the narratives that gets pushed. Not accepting what we're supposed to be according to them and their theology and whoever them is, like the people that tell you there's a way to, this is the way to do it or this is the way to do it. No, we're not accepting none of that. We just looking at that word. And I had a discussion today with one of my instructors, actually, talking about all of this. And this is going to shift a bit. We're going to get into a little bit of faith, but it talks about the last days and how things are going to be. It talks about, like, in the days of Noah, how it was in the days of Noah, so shall the last days be. And when you go and look and you read in the book of Noah, or I'm sorry, in the book of Genesis about Noah, you see that the world was crazy. Everybody was, lust-filled, sleeping around with everybody and everything, like people laying down with animals. And, you had the whole movement that we got today going on. It was like that back then. But the difference maker that they had back then that we don't have today, I don't think, is it says that the sons of God messed around with women and bore children. And these were the men of old, the men of renown. So these were special men. I'll break it down. These are special people, right? And the conversation just started getting deep. So I'm like, they were special people. It's kind of like they prepping us for something. Because right now you got, you look at Marvel, right? You ever watch the superhero movies? They show you like, Thor, Loki, Superman, all these people that got this extraordinary strength, the X-Men, they got these weird powers and all of that. And then you look at how they make it like the Flash. The Flash got his powers because of a lightning strike and chemicals in a lab. And they prepping us. And then the lady was like, yeah, she's older. She said, I used to watch the Jetsons. And in the Jetsons, I think about this. In the Jetsons, they were having Zoom calls. And we didn't think that was ever going to be possible. I said, yeah, that's strange. How did it's like they were prepping us up for that. It's like always prepping. They're always prepping us up for the next thing. Well, we got Elon and the whole Neuralink thing. And we got this other scientist saying that they trying to make a chip out of human cells that could go into your body, right? And you could do everything, like upload stuff to the internet from your brain. Like, I don't understand how it works, but answer your phone, all types of stuff. You a bank account, just all types of stuff. And also give you back your sight if you're blind. Neuralink is said to make people that are paraplegic like be able to walk. And if it goes any further than that, and then you think about it, we've seen this type of stuff in sci-fi movies, right? And you never thought like we will be here. Well, we did, but the older generation never did. Never thought that none of this stuff would be possible. And here we are. And then go back to that Bible. And it talks about that there's going to be a peace deal created and the world's going to be great for like 3.5 years. You know what I'm saying? In the book of Daniel, 3.5 years of peace. And then just chaos. In Revelation, what's it say? You ain't going to be able to buy nor sell. You ain't going to be able to do nothing if you ain't got that mark. And then we hear talking about the cashless society. Nobody ever thought that that could be a thing. How? We always need money. They came out with credit cards. Then the credit card switched to the phone. Right now, my iPhone told me I could create a digital ID. I don't even got to carry my license around no more if I don't want to. I could just digital ID it, and there's a lot of places that will accept my phone as my ID, which sits in my right hand and is always up to my forehead. How could they get it? How could they do it? How would that ever be a thing? That's the way. And that's just starting. They've already got chips. People always used to say it's going to be a chip. They're going to put it's a grain of rice. It's like the size of a grain of rice. They chip it in your hand or in your forehead. They're doing it to pets already. It's called VeriChip. Sounded interesting, but then you got Elon Musk making more, because how are you going to sell that? It's like, you want me to put this little grain of rice in my hand so I could go to work? And I ain't doing that, bro. But then Elon say, hey, man, I can make you super smart. We could change your IQ like that, bro. You will have literally Google in your head. Can't walk? Don't worry. This chip right here is going to send the electrical signals down to your spine to tell your legs to work. Really? All of this stuff, man. And when we talk about the politics, all I want is the truth. Just so, and not for any other reason other than so I can know what time we're in. What's really going on? And I'm telling y'all, we are on the cusp of something. The world is changing. The world is changing. Straight up. People are connected more than ever. More than ever before. We don't know what to believe anymore. Look at Trump. Look at this. These people were fooled. Couldn't even tell if this was real or not. Right? Listen to this. This is where we're at.
Ultimately, people have to decide.
Hold on.
There's a video that is circulating online now of the White House where a window is open to the residents upstairs and somebody is throwing a big bag out the window. Have you seen this?
No, that's probably AI.
They couldn't even tell that it was fake. We have hit a point that we don't know if what we're seeing is real or fake because we're watching it on a screen. And the screen, look at this. Right? All these images and everything right now, you probably watch me on your phone or your TV, but it's all my computer monitors. They're black screens. Who deals with black screens? Black mirrors. What's a black mirror? Oh, witches use those. Sorcery. What is sorcery? Break that word down. Goes back to the Greek. What is it? Pharmakia, where we get the word pharmaceuticals. But pharmakia means sorcery. So pharmaceuticals is sorcery. Yeah. God said that the herbs shall be used for the healing of the nations. We got synthetic stuff that we take, and we don't even know what we could use in the forest unless you're a forger.
Generator.
It sounds strange.
Actually, you can't open the windows. You know why? They're all heavily armored and bulletproof.
So that's a fake video.
Well, it's got to be, because I know every window up there. The last place I'd be doing it is that, because there's cameras all over the place, right? Including yours. No, but every window, I've never seen a window that's, in fact, my wife was complaining about it the other day. She said, love to have a little fresh air come in, but you can't. They're bulletproof. And number one, they're sealed. And number two, each window weighs about 600 pounds. You have to be pretty strong to open them up. No, that has to be, where was the window? Let me see.
Maybe from the renovations.
Which is the window?
It looks like this is on the 15th Street side, I think.
Yeah.
So right here.
Yeah, those windows are sealed. Those windows are they're all sealed. You can't open them.
Those windows are sealed. You can't open them. And he ain't wrong. I Googled it. And then I chat GPT'd it. Yeah, them windows can't be open, which means that fake video looks so real. They couldn't even tell if it was real or fake. Wrote over here on Instagram, April says, I saw a video of Michelle Obama talking in a man's voice. I couldn't tell if it was real. I thought it was real if I didn't know better. Yeah. Yeah. We don't know. They could make a video of you. I'm a South Park fanatic, right? I love South Park. I was watching the South Park video or episode, and they were all making these fake videos of each other. And that's where we're at. People don't know what's real, what's fake anymore. You can't tell. You fall under a delusion. You fall under a spell. You don't know what's real. I don't know what's real watching the screen. And you got to know that because it's the same thing that they do with news. You don't know if what they're telling you is true. We don't know if anything that we see on the news is true. Everything that we just talked about today, we don't know if it's true or not, but we're talking about it because we're conditioned to. Social media. Got to keep the content going. I'm talking about I need some content. I'm talking about these things. And people everywhere consume the content. So then it got me thinking even more about influencers, big names, not people like myself or, just you or anybody else. No, big names that pop up on your feed all the time and you don't follow them. That means that they're pushed into your face. Are they put there? Are they put there? You look at, I'm going to use Candace Owens because she's like the hot thing right now. Candace Owens used to be completely different than how she is today. But when she was completely different, she didn't have the following that she has today. And the content shifted from her informing or giving her thought about, like the black community or whatever, to now being conspiracy based. Everything, have you noticed that? Everything conspiracy based. And we accept it. We don't question it. Like Alex Jones. Alex Jones, conspiracy. And we tune in. What's the latest? Moon landing, flat earth, hollow earth, Bridget McCrone, Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk, Epstein files, who was on the island. But we don't get no real fact behind it. Just always leading us to think and mistrust. And I don't know, I'm thinking, like, what's the purpose behind that? And the only thing that I come up with, see, we all think that it's some big distraction. The lady that I talked to today at my job, she started talking about her retirement. She started talking about how Social Security may not be there for her when she retires because the weight of the world's gone. And it sucks because that's hers, she said. And she put into it and she worked for it. And I just thought to myself, why? Why should she have to stress about a Social Security? Why is the world set up the way that it is at all? Why do these people that we don't know the faces to, we got names like people say the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, we know all these different names that set up these systems. And we don't got a face. And you work your whole life. And you go to school, and you get the job, and you buy the house. You never own it. You never own it. You only get to keep it as long as you play the game and give them the paper that they created, that they give you for your time. You sacrifice your time. And you get to keep the house until you can't pay for it no more. even though it's yours. And if the family wants to keep it, well, they got to keep on paying. Maybe not for the house, but for the land. Why do they own the land? Why did they cut down all the trees that people could eat off of? Why any of it? Like, why are we fighting against each other instead of a system that divides? Why do we hate certain countries? What's the point? Like, why do we hate them? Why? Just why? Last time I checked, the earth produces everything. Like, they don't tax the birds that fly down and eat the seeds that fall off the tree. Why is it you? Why you? My answer? Everything in this world, and I got to bring it to this, I wouldn't feel right if I didn't, but everything in this world is designed to distract you away from one thing: God. Want you so stressed out about the bills, so stressed out about work, so stressed out about if you're going to lose your house, so stressed out about if you can make your car payment, so stressed out about everything that you never just focus on God and just enjoy existing. Think about it. They tell you, you got to wait when you die. When you die, you get to go to heaven. And then you can just do everything that you ever wanted to do and just love God. Like, that's literally going to be your job in heaven, they say, is you're just loving God. Just be appreciative to God that you're here. Like, worship God in everything that you do. Well, can't we do that here? Why are you stressing me out? And you say, well, it's the devil. Well, who's the devil? It says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, against spirit, principalities, spiritual wickedness in heavenly places. The government. The government. And their ideas of what life is supposed to be. We got to quit fighting against each other. And I'm not even telling people to fight the government. The world is set up the way that the world is set up, but we can stop playing the game against each other. Too many of us are divided right now based off of who you voted for. And then the even stupider ones are hating each other for their skin color. And then the even stupider ones are hating each other for what religion they're a part of. And the list just goes on and on and on and on and on. When do we say, yo, just don't hurt my family, don't take what's mine, and we cool. And if you need me, man, I'm here. Like, I got your back. You need some help doing something, I got you. When does that happen? You say, oh, Cash, that can never happen. Or it's human nature just for differences. And no, everything is taught. It's taught. Human nature is which nature you were taught. This poem: two natures beat within my breast. One is cursed, the other is blessed. One I love and one I hate, but the one that I feed will dominate. So it's literally what you feed. It's what you feed. You don't have to be miserable. The world's set up the way that the world is set up. You know what I did when I went to school today? I'm in CDL class and I drove a truck. And I've done this since I've been in this class. You know what I choose to do when I go there? I encourage every other person in that class with me. If they're not doing good, I tell them, you got this, bro. You're going to get it. and then I'll give them the advice that I got, or the tips that I had that I've learned from being there, and I just encourage them. I don't beat them down. I don't make them feel bad if they messed up. Or when we were driving on the road today, one brother was like clutching hard. The whole truck just boom, 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 right? And the whole time I'm in the back seat, I'm like, brother, you got this, man. Come on, you got this. Don't trip. Hey, we just learning, man. We're just learning. We're gonna get there together, bro. You got this. He don't know me. I don't know him, but he's a human, and he's trying to do something that's good for his life. So I just encourage. And I do that everywhere I go. Every store I walk in, every time I'm around somebody, at a bus stop, when I'm dropping my kids off, encourage. Why? Hey, that's God. In my mind, God loves everybody, right? And I don't know where they're at in life. I don't know if they've been dealing with something horrible, or if their life sucks, or if they got a bad outlook, or whatever. Maybe they spilled hot coffee on them in the morning. I don't know. I don't know what happened to them in that day. But I know that when they encounter cash, they're going to feel love. Like they're going to feel like they was around somebody that they want to be around again. And that's what it is. Build good relationships like that, and people want to be around you again. Now imagine if everybody did that without anything else. Imagine if everybody did that. Everybody will want to be around those people. Now you got a whole tribe, a whole community of people that are just good, that just do good, speak good, and help, uplift, and give a hand. We've become so cold towards each other because of these politics, because of what the news said, because of what someone believes. I'm guilty. I'm recalibrating my mind slowly but surely. You notice I ain't did no more Candace videos. I'm like, yeah, I disagree, but so what? I don't know what that sister got going on. I don't know what she's dealing with. And then somebody will say, well, she doesn't care about what Erica's going through. Maybe not. I don't know. But I know that if Erica could come out and say, I forgive the person that killed my husband, I'm sure that she forgives Candace if she feels that she's doing anything wrong. Right? We should just be praying. My videos now, I'm praying. I'm praying for Candace just because, not because she's saying anything right or wrong, but because she's got a platform, and I'm praying that God will allow her to use that platform for right. And I'm praying that for President Trump. I pray that whatever he got going on, that God will lead him to make the best decisions possible for the people that are according to his will. When it comes to, Nick Fuentes, right? I'm hot on Nick. It's just like he angers me when I watch his stuff. But at the same time, I heard something that he said that made me like, dang, he's a human. Like he's going through some things that shaped his brain to feel the way that he feels. Same thing with that dude, the gypsy guy, pisses me off. I hear him talk, and I'm just like, my human nature inside of me that I've been taught makes me get triggered when I hear anybody saying racial stuff. But I got to put that nature away, because if I'm a new creation and I say I got Christ with it, I know that that's still my brother, even though he don't know it. When I hear Tariq Nasheed, or I hear, what's his name, Dr. Umar, I can't be upset at them brothers. They think that they're doing right. Everybody thinks that they're doing right. And if I'm the only one in my mind that knows that they're not doing right and that they're doing wrong, well, then it's not my duty to bash them. No. It's my duty to pray for them and still treat them like a brother. That's just my interpretation. That's how I choose to live my life moving forward. That's how I want to be, because I don't want to be a negative memory in somebody's brain. And I don't want to be a part of causing any damage to that person. I want to be somebody that they look at and be like, yo, that brother helped lead me to the light. Every time I get around that brother, he's good, man. It's a good dude. I disagree with him on a lot of things. I don't believe in the same God as him, or I don't, or whatever, but he's a good dude. And if we all strived for that, we change the world. We may not change laws. We may not change policies, but we change the world. You think about the Israelites, they had it bad, man. They had it bad when they was underneath Pharaoh. Moses came with a message from God and said, yo, let my people go. Pharaoh said, nah, I ain't going nowhere. Matter of fact, because you were so bold to try to release them from my system of government that I have over them, I'm going to make their lives harder. I got you. Watch this. I want double the amount of bricks, and you got to keep the same amount of straw. What'd they do? They did the job and stay faithful to God, praying and trusting it. Yo, God's gonna get us up out of this. So sometimes, and I say that because I look at the world today. We're underneath the Pharaoh, not just here in America, but around the world. The people are living underneath the Pharaoh. Pharaoh looks different than he does over here than the Pharaoh in China. Same system, though. But I'm sure they want some release, too. And sometimes the distraction that they get is for them to hate Americans. And Iran, hate America. Look at how Iran used to be. Iran used to be beautiful. People used to live their life. You've seen their cars. I look at old pictures of the people in Iran, and they look like us. And now they Pharaoh says, if you're a woman, you better have on a burqa. And if you don't, this is the punishment. And they do horrible things to these women. In Africa right now, in certain countries, they have open slave markets. Literally selling people off. It's a lot worse than what we got over here. And I'm sure that those people crying out to God. I'm sure that those people are asking God, yo, when are you going to release me from Pharaoh? When are you going to get me up out of this situation? All of us are in the same boat. We just got different paddles. Okay? But if we're going to change anything, y'all, it's got to start with you. It's got to start from within yourself. It's got to start with recalibrating your mind. Conform not to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I can't tell you how to renew your mind. I can tell you what I do. I stay checking me. I stay asking myself, am I doing the right thing? Am I saying the right thing? And then to get my answers, what I use is my Bible. And then I pray. And then I ask God every day, God, guide me the right way. Don't let me be a burden to somebody. Forgive me for my wrongs, because I got a lot of them. I did a lot of wrong yesterday or whatever. Forgive me and help me not to do those things again, and just help me walk right. Help me be appreciative of what I got, and to be a good father to my family. And I start checking me and asking God to do the things inside of me that'll be good for the people around me and for my family. And then sometimes I pray if he'll like make me get $1 million. And I'm just being real. I'm like, yeah, it's written down in my book. I say, hey, God, let me get a fat bank account so I can change the world that way too. I do. It's probably selfish, and I probably shouldn't ask God that, but I do. And I'm just being real. My God, change my financial situation to where I can do more for people. But I always start with me. And it's real hard. It's real hard not to be reactionary when we see things go through our timeline. It's real hard not to get on here and we're going to hold people accountable and all. No. Because we ain't even we're not holding ourselves accountable. All right. I don't know how hard Trump's job is. I can imagine it's pretty hard. I don't know how hard Putin's job is. I don't know how hard Zelensky's job is. I don't know how hard any of these people that are leaders, right? I don't know how hard their job is. But I know that they're just a human, like you and me. And they're going to make mistakes. That's a fact. And we're not going to like everything about them, no matter who's in office. No matter who's running your show, wherever you're at, you're not going to ever agree 100%. And if you do, well, then you just drank the Kool-Aid, right? You just, and that's okay. That's where God got you at right now. But we got to stop being divided from each other because of it. We got people that we don't even talk to because we're like, they voted for this person. Not because you've seen them do anything wrong or be anything. Just you might have read a post on Facebook. Or you see, I still prejudge on accident. I see somebody with purple hair, and the first thing I think in my mind, liberal. That's the God's honest truth. That's the first thing that crosses my mind when I see somebody with a purple hair or I got the nose ring or something. I'm like, yo, that's a liberal. But then I end up interacting with that person, and I'm like, oh, man, they're all right. They're all right. Because they don't know my politics. That's where it gets muddy. As soon as they realize, oh, you're a J6er, you're a Trump supporter, they'll judge me. Unless they keep talking to me and get to know me. And then they're like, oh, bro, it's all right. He's cool. He didn't let none of this stuff make us have a bad encounter. Hey, we got to get back to that, y'all. You don't got to agree with everybody. If they're not harming you, if they're not stealing from you, if they're not harming your family, it's not that big a deal. I was in the grocery store with my wife before I came here. And a lady was pissed off next to us because she had to change lanes because the line shut down. And my wife heard her say some slick stuff because my wife was standing there. We had our cart, and she was trying to cut through the aisles to go over to the aisle on the opposite side of us. So she said something slick underneath her breath, but my wife heard it. And at first I got mad because I'm like, yo, that's my wife. And I don't care if you're a woman or not, ain't nobody disrespecting my wife. And I'm like, man, this Karen. That's what I said. I said it out loud. I said it to my wife. I'm like, this Karen. You want me to go? And then I checked myself. I'm like, oh, you know what, babe? Maybe she's having a bad day. And I had to check myself. And I thank God. That's God. That's that prayer that I put up this morning. Had to check myself. I say, man, babe, she's probably just having a bad day. She probably ain't even a Karen. She just might be having a bad day. Let her have it. That's all right. Just words. It is what it is. God bless her. My wife was like, you're right, babe. She probably is just having a bad day. Whatever. And we just kept on about our day. It ain't hard to do that. Because we're conditioned and taught to believe that we got to be so reactionary to everything. Everybody's not a monster. Everybody is not out to get you. On X right now, I got so much people on my feed that are just like, there's this one guy, his whole thing is just January 6th. January 6th. And I don't know if he's a J6 or not. I don't know him, but he's always talking about J6 wasn't now his thing is it wasn't an insurrection, that it was election interference. And I guess he's against J6ers. I don't know. I liked his videos when I first came home because I'm like, oh, conspiracy stuff is awesome. I'm rubbing my hands. But now when I see it, it just kind of gets annoying. And I had an interaction with him on a space. And he had a question for me. And he's just a regular guy, right? And he's like, I feel like that there were a lot of feds in the crowd that day. And we all feel like that. We know that now. But some of the J6ers, he tried to say that it's feds that's in the crowd. And he asked me, he says, Cash, I see your history. I see your gang affiliation, and I've noticed that there's a lot of that in the J6, and I just got to ask you, and I don't mean to be disrespectful. It sounded very disrespectful, but I know that he meant it. Like, he wasn't trying to be disrespectful. He's just really into J6 stuff, right? Are you a Fed, or have you worked with the Feds in cooperation to do anything against the J6ers? And I said, no, I'm not a Fed. And I did not do anything to work against the J6ers. I was not a part of the setup. That's what he asked me. And he asked me about my case, and I told him, hey, listen, now when it comes to my case, if you want to talk about before J6, then listen, I was neighborhood crime watch. I'll call the police on you in a heartbeat, right? But no, as far as J6 goes, not at all, man. I was just a person that was there. So all I did was walked in and got arrested. He goes, okay. And then he goes on another space the next day, and I happened to tune in. And he starts going in talking about all these people, Dominic Pizzola, Ryan Nichols, all the Proud Boys, and they're sending butthole pictures to each other. And he's just going down this deep end. And I wanted to chime into him and say, hey, brother, you're going too hard into this thing. What does it matter? Let's say that every single person that you think was a Fed, right? Or whatever was, what is that going to do? What is it going to change? What are you going to accomplish? And I know the answer will be nothing. It's not going to accomplish anything except boost his ego to say, I see I was right. And isn't that what all of us be chasing on here? To say that we were right about something. I've looked back at my videos, how many times I came on when I was right about something and said, see, I was right. So what, Cash? You was right. What does that mean? So what? It means nothing. They mean something. The guys that I'm going to interact with tomorrow at class mean something. Me encouraging my son when he's doing his homework, or how awesome he feels about trucks, or when my daughter creates a picture, a work of art that she painted, and that means something. That means something. We've gotten to a point, y'all, where we forgot what's important. We've forgotten what's really important. Only thing that's important is God and family. That's it. So then why am I alive right now? Well, because all of you guys I consider to be family. All right. I love you guys. And as fun as it is, talking about the politics and everything, y'all, unless we're going to come together to do something to change it, like being good to each other and the things that we could do on the ground, or going up to our Capitol buildings and talking to our congressmen or talking to our senators, not out of hate. Don't go up there all super angry. You go and tell them like, yo, and then use this platform for that. Use your social media. You go have a conversation and say, hey, I would like to talk to you about you signing off on this, man. This is going to hurt my business. Or we didn't elect you to do this. Then do that, but do it like looking at him like that's your brother or your sister, whoever is your congressman and senator. Not with hate. Like, we got to get away from it, man. And then when you do that, when you go and have that conversation, then you go to the community, to the people you interact with on a day-to-day at your job. That's your community. Like, they're there with you. And you say, hey, did you know that they were doing this? Did you know that they were signing off on this, man? This is going to do this, and that. And then now they get the message. And then you go up there together and you say, hey, it wasn't just me. I know I just talked to you about this, but look at all these people that are against what you got going on. And they got it by districts for a reason. It's not hard to hit your district and talk to people. Boots on the ground. Casey put everything in perspective for me. I talked to Casey yesterday, and Casey's probably one of the most intelligent people that I know. He's like a know-it-all, for real, when it comes to politics and tech. Anything with tech, I could call Casey, and he's going to fix it. But Casey told me, and I shared his post because he's right. He said, we're all worried about conspiracies, and we're all worried about who's talking crap about who in politics, and it's like tabloids, How come nobody's pointing the finger? And I said this the other day too. Why ain't we pointing the finger at the people that we can hold accountable? You can't hold Bibi Netanyahu accountable, or Putin, or Zelensky. You can't. They're not from your country. But you can go talk to your congressman, congresswoman, senator, senatet. Is that how you would say it? Or is it just senator? It's probably just senator. I just made up a word though. Senatet. Senanet? I don't know. That's fun though. It's fun to say. No, man, and rally people together and you go talk to them. Because we're all distracted. Talking about things we can't change. Let's deal with what we can change. Like I said, that's yourself and then your community. Change yourself, change your home, change your community. And that's it. And love God in the process. That's all you could do. That's all you could do. That's it. And never step out of bounds. Don't step out of bounds to where you could get yourself in trouble. Follow the law. Even if it's a law you disagree with, and I know that's going to be unpopular on here, but if that law doesn't violate your constitutional rights and your God-given rights, then you got to obey. That's just the way that's the way it is, right? Until you rally together to change that law. That's the point. You got to come together and do it in a way that doesn't cause you to fall into the hands of justice. Make sense? That's really good. That is really good. Rally together. Rally the people together. Everybody come together. If you don't like something that's being done with these people in Congress, rally together and go talk to your congressman and your senator, but do it in such a way that you will not fall into the hands of justice. I like that. I'm going to go back and yeah, that's a video. That's a whole video by itself. I'm going to create that. But that's all I got, man. I really do mean it when I say I'm praying for you guys, man. I'm praying for our country. I'm praying for Trump. I'm praying for the world, all the world leaders, man. All of them. The rotten ones that we think suck and the great ones that we think are amazing. You know? Because at the end of the day, they all trying to make it like us. They just got different problems, different worries and stuff. I can't relate to a lot of these people's problems. I wish I could. I really do. I wish that I could relate to some of their problems, but yeah, it's not there yet. I'm working towards it. That's all I got. I hope that you got something from this, man. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and share it out. Hit the like button before you go. And yeah, unite. Don't fight. Be a street light, because only you could be the change you wish to see in this world. And when you get too stressed out, you got to remember to pray, because without God, everything falls apart. I don't know where you're watching me from, what part of the world, on all these different platforms. We got a nice little amount of people in here right now, which is great. And this is nice to see. I ain't going to lie. Where we're streaming on Rumble, Pilled, X, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And we got a nice little amount. I'm not going to gloat about what it is. Just know I appreciate you guys and thank you. Hope y'all have a really good night. All right. Peace.